Let me tell you guys about BellyUpSports. BellyUpSports is the internet sports bar. Go ahead and check out their website, www.bellyupsports.com, to read some great articles from great writers all across the country, from hockey, baseball, golf, soccer, you name it. BellyUpSports is the premier, not your average website. All right, in the Premier League this year, these are the teams that are competing in the Premier League: Arsenal, Aston Villa, Bournemouth, Brentford, Brighton and Hove Albion, Chelsea, Crystal Palace, Everton, Fulham, Ipswich Town, Leicester City, Liverpool, Manchester City, Manchester United, Newcastle United, Nottingham Forest, Southampton, Tottenham, West Ham United, and Wolverhampton. The new faces in the Premier League this year is Ipswich Town, Leicester City, and Southampton. Those are the new teams. Obviously, Leicester City got relegated the year before, gets promoted, strongly wins the league, and are back, and probably decently strong. They did lose their coach, Enzo Maresca, who is going to Chelsea this year. Is taking over Chelsea this season, but so we'll see how Leicester performs. They still have some quality players. Ipswich Town is a team that's going to be interesting to watch just because of the fact that it's been so long since Ipswich Town has been in the Premier League. And Southampton, it's a team that revolves. It's just a constant revolving door in the league. But, those are the new faces. Storylines for me, man, it's the Aston Villa follow-up, man. Aston Villa coming off of a very interesting season where they did get a Champions League spot. What do they do to maintain that? What do they do to keep it? Keep where they are? I think that's going to be a very interesting story for this season. Can they keep up? They still have Unai Emery, but now Champions League in the mix. We'll see where Aston Villa is at in the league, in the Premier League this year. So new coaches for some big teams, man. We got Arne Slot going to Liverpool. Not necessarily a big club, but a team that has high aspirations, but they win and got a very interesting name. Is West Ham getting Julian Lopetegui? The Spanish manager is taking over West Ham United. David Moyes' contract is up, and so now Lopetegui is taking over. And of course, I mentioned earlier, Enzo Maresca going to take over Chelsea. Chelsea is kind of doing a little fire sale in the works, also still buying players. We'll see what happens, man. Chelsea's just kind of a weird dumpster fire in some sense. And the final storyline that I'm going to keep an eye on is Sandro Tonali making his return August 27th. So he still has to finish his suspension that he got for gambling. Though I do believe he's set to get an additional 2-month suspension, but I believe that suspension will be he will be serving his punishment in the off season. So at the end of the season, he'll be serving his additional 2-month suspension because apparently he got caught gambling again. So, but Sandro Tonali, obviously everyone's intrigued. Obviously he did an amazing job over at AC Milan. Strong player, was even the captain of AC Milan before he got sent to Newcastle United. But we'll see how he finally gets to play in Newcastle United and see how pivotal of a player he'll be for Newcastle, and can he keep the team. Without him, even without him, they made it to Champions League the previous year, but they're hoping to see Sandro Tonali doing well for Newcastle, and hopefully Newcastle can be back in the conversation this season. Team to watch. Honestly, I'm gonna try to keep my Arsenal bias away from this. I'm gonna say Chelsea, man. And the reason why is obviously just since taking over, since Bolly took over this team, it has just been rough. So I feel like this is gonna be a real make it or break it kind of thing for Todd Bolly, because at this point, I don't know, man. Sell the fucking team. I don't really know what else to tell you. So we need to see what what Chelsea can do. Can they be competitive? Can they get into a competition? Can they get themselves in competition? Can they win a trophy this year? That's going to be the question. Is Enzo Maresca the guy? That those are all the questions that we're going to be needing answers to for Chelsea this season. So they're definitely a team to watch. Player to watch this season. Um, it's weird because there's not enough names, man. But I'm gonna go with Erling Haaland. I think Erling Haaland. I don't necessarily think he took a dip by any means, but um, he got a lot of call. He got called out a lot. They called him a League Two striker, that he's only pacey and can score tap-ins. He can't create his own goals. Blah blah blah. I think Erling Haaland is still a phenomenal goal scorer. I think he obviously he's a freak of an athlete, um, but he definitely needs to be able to show up in the big games. And I think that that's going to be something that needs to be seen. I think Man City is still a very strong team in the league, in the Premier League. I think that they're going to be a team that is going to be competitive with or without Erling Haaland. But I think that you went all out to bring out Erling Haaland because of what he can do as far as a goal scorer goes, and we need him to have one of those big years, especially if you know Kylian Mbappe is able to do his thing in Real Madrid, because I would argue that these two are probably going to be the ones that everyone's hoping to be the ones competing for Ballon d'Ors for many years to come. Though I think it's a very open uh, challenge for anybody that's young to compete for a Ballon d'Or. But I think my player to watch this year is going to be Erling Haaland. Can he finally do the step up? Can he not disappear in a big match kind of thing? So we'll see how that goes for him. And then my favorite to win the league, I want to say it's Arsenal's year, but I don't know, man. To me, I don't think that there's many teams have at least the contenders for the Premier League. I don't think they've done enough to make me feel like they overthrow Manchester City. Um, if like Manchester City goes in a rut of form, maybe someone can capitalize on it. But I until proven differently, I think same thing. Manchester City is just a unit, man. Yes, if they do lose Julian Alvarez, that's a big loss. But I believe they got Savio from Girona, and their whole shenanigans way of getting players from the Man City group. Um, it all means if they do lose on Julian Alvarez, they'll just pick up a Savio. So yeah, this team is just loaded, man. There's I just don't see I just don't necessarily see anybody overtake them just yet. I think Arsenal's really close. They're still missing some pieces for me before I can really like say that they're going to be the heavy favorites. And we're talking about heavy favorite. We're not talking about who I would like to see win it, but who I think is the heavy favorite to win it. I mean, obviously Liverpool's going to compete. I think Arsenal's going to compete. I think Manchester United is also going to be an interesting team to watch this year. Obviously they're committed to Ten Hag. Will that pay off for them this season? So yeah, I mean, until proven differently, I think it's Man City. It's Man City all the way. So I'm sorry, but I want to pick somebody else. I want to. I don't want to pick Man City, but is there anybody out there that you feel can compete with them? And I just don't have that person in mind. So there's that. That's the Premier League. I really wish I could say something positive and uplifting to tell y'all that it's not. I feel like I'm Morgan Freeman in what's it called? I forgot the name of the movie. That prison. I don't know what the fuck I'm telling you guys. What was that movie? But anyways, there's I think I lost the point of that joke, but uh, man, dude, how am I forgetting this movie? Um, it's like an all-time movie too. Shawshank Redemption. So like, yeah, there's a scene in Shawshank Redemption when Morgan Freeman's like, I wish I could tell you that he put up a good fight. I wish I could tell you that he got out clearly, but this isn't one of those stories. That's exactly how I feel about this one. It's just I wish I could tell you someone's gonna beat able to win, outplay Manchester City. I wish I could tell you someone's just gonna have a strong start to the season and follow it through. I really wish I could tell you, but I just don't think it's one of those stories. At the end of the day, Manchester City is just fucking inevitable. That's the most annoying part of it. They're just inevitable. Like even if they start rough, they somehow find ways to just get back in discussion, and then unfortunately the teams that are in front of them, they just start slipping off, and that's what happens in the Premier League. And you can't rest on your laurels in this league. Like shit's gonna happen, and so that's where we are at. But yeah, that's the Premier League.